Hey everyone, Larkin Greene with FBD. Today we're going to talk about time and temperature, two subjects that are really critical when using adhesive, any adhesive application. Both of these things have to be taken into consideration and likely managed. So when we talk about especially set time and the times that are involved with adhesive applications, the material, all Vettec materials set within 30 to 60 seconds. However, there are some other factors that come into play. So the first one is obviously the working time. So the working time refers to the amount of time that you have to manipulate adhesive before it stops moving. Once it stops moving, that means you can't spread it or manipulate it at all. So that's the initial, basically, some people call that the initial set time. But so in something that sets in 30 seconds, you don't have a whole lot of working time, which means that you have to plan effectively so that you can work quickly and not have to waste time. So in this case, the working time is maybe 15 to 20 seconds for super fast. In 30 seconds, it will be set. It will be hard to the touch. However, if it's a bottom application, in the case of if we were making a custom shoe or a full extension on the foot, then that comes into, then weight bearing time comes into play as well. So even though the material may be set hard, it feels hard as a rock, we don't want to put weight on it until we have passed the weight bearing time. So, and that varies, but it's generally, for super fast, it's 2 minutes, so it's set in 30 seconds. But you don't want to actually put weight on it for 2 minutes. For adhere, it sets in 60 seconds, but 3.5 minutes to weight bearing time. So it's really critical to factor in those time frames. If it's a repair or something where the foot is on the ground, then obviously weight bearing time doesn't come into play at all. So we don't really have to worry about that. But anything on the bottom, we have to consider weight bearing. All right. So when it comes to temperatures, temperatures are really critical, and they can really make or break an adhesive application. And so the ambient air temperature, or the outside air temperature, is not as critical as these other two. So we can still do adhesive applications when the outside air temperature is down close to freezing, as long as the other two temperatures are taken into consideration and managed. So the most important thing is the temperature of the material itself. Now, you've probably already heard that the temperature of this, ideal temperature, 60 to 80 degrees or around room temperature, is pretty ideal for all of these cartridge materials. However, if the material gets cooler, we know that it's going to be harder to get out of the cartridge. It's going to set longer, or take longer to set. If it's hot, it's going to be a little more fluid, but it's going to set much quicker. So we're going to have reduced working time if it's warm. So this, ideally, room temperature. This is the one that most people forget about. So the temperature of whatever surface these adhesive materials touch or come in contact with is going to directly affect how quickly it sets. So if you have a shoe that is sitting on the anvil and you're getting ready to glue it on, if it's sitting out in the sun and that surface is very hot, as soon as you apply that glue to the shoe, it's going to set instantly because heat will accelerate the set. On the other side of that, if it's cold outside and this shoe surface is very cold, that's going to prevent the material from setting quickly. It's actually going to take heat out of the material, and it's going to take it a lot longer to set. Same with the hoof surface. Now, obviously, the hoof surface is a little more insulated. It doesn't get as hot or as cold as a device like a shoe might, but we still have to take into consideration the temperature of this surface as well. So when you're putting adhesive on a cold surface, it's going to impede the set, slow it down, and it's probably going to be weaker adhesive in general. On hot surfaces, it's going to set it much quicker, which basically just takes away all your working time. So whenever you do adhesive applications, you have to take these two things into consideration and understand the cause and effect, because this is aside from preparation, these are the two most important things to any adhesive application at all.